Welcome to the 2024 Economic Depression and Preparation Channel. I'm your host, Tony. Thank you for joining me on this Friday edition, April 4th, 2024. Please be sure to subscribe to this channel for the latest on financial news interpretation, and we appreciate your support. We do read all the comments and concerns, and we do answer questions, so please continue to support us here on this channel, and I appreciate it. Now, our prayers and thoughts are out for those who in the earthquake in Taiwan, as well as in America. There's a brief earthquake, I believe, in New Jersey, a 4.8. East Coast doesn't get a lot of earthquakes, so prayers are for those who are maybe a little bit shaken up and rattled. No injuries or no casualties reported with that one, but we're definitely going to keep them in our prayers. So now, ladies and gentlemen, the week closes, the Dow Jones closes up 300 points higher in a rebound, surprise rebound, but this is the worst week in 2024 for the Dow Jones and S&P 500. It's dipped as much as 500 points or 600 points in some cases, and we continue to see this economy sputter on, even though the jobs report came out good news, according to the official media reports from CNBC and Yahoo Finance. They added 303,000 jobs, and we're going to talk about the current unemployment rate falling. Even though we know that it's still rising in terms of the long-term unemployment rate, is still rising in terms of those who have to pick up two or more jobs, either a main job and a side hustle, or two side hustles and some other job. So this is what we're facing, ladies and gentlemen, here in this economy. The good news is we're still here, we're still alive, we're breathing, we're blessed. That we have time to not only prepare our families and friends and cohorts and chums, but we have time to reflect and to just enjoying life, while we're still in some of the quote unquote good times, with the US dollar still holding on to its status as the world reserve currency as we speak. So let's get right into it, ladies and gentlemen. Right here we have the Dow Jones closes 300 points higher, as I mentioned, but it registers its worst week in 2024 according to CNBC.com, hot off the press. Dow Jones started out this morning down, when I checked, a couple hundred points, and then all of a sudden after lunchtime it rose up 300 points magically, and that probably was due to the news that the Labor Department came out and said that, look, we added 303,000 jobs in March. Non-farm payrolls increased by 200,000, and also they added investors. We're looking at trying to see the strong economy as far as in terms of jobs keep continuing to add, and also in terms of wages rising, even though it was 0.3. That's paltry compared to the inflation level, which is at 5% right now, ladies and gentlemen. The official inflation number. Now, the unofficial inflation numbers that we know is at 15%, but the official numbers are at 5%. So investors were torn, but they said, look, we're going to continue to invest in this market. We're going to continue to give it all we got because, the jobs are still adding. Government jobs are still adding on. Healthcare jobs are still adding on, but zero manufacturing jobs. You notice that, guys. And so this is going to be very interesting to see. Jobs are adding on, 303,000 jobs, but what type of jobs? Only government and healthcare is carrying the bulk of that, and then followed by utilities and transportation, but no manufacturing jobs, no new tech jobs, as you can see, high and stuff like that. And so we're still behind in that aspect. Unemployment falls to 3.8% in March as labor market continues to impress. Now, this is according to Yahoo Finance, but you have to remember, ladies and gentlemen, that's just initial unemployment claims. Those who want continuing claims and all that is still continuing to rise here. So continuing claims are rising, but initial claims are falling. So that's a mixed bag. So this is what we have going on in this economy. Meanwhile, as you know, in California, they're paying fast food workers over $20 an hour. And so you notice the prices on fast food have gone up, and like Burger King is using dynamic pricing, McDonald's, all these places are gone up. You can't no longer get, it's been this way for, at least the last 6-7 years. You can't no longer get a dollar menu is gone. You can no longer get a combo under $10 for one or two people eating if you're going to do the fast food route. Now, if you cook at home, it's maybe cheaper, but even groceries have gone up in terms of natural ingredients. I noticed they are building a lot more Sprouts and Mom's Organic and Trader Joe's, places like that. They are building a lot more in these cities, expanding. But at the same token, those places are raising they have higher costs because input costs because of what type of food that they have. So this is something to think about. Now, we look at the current unemployment rate. Like I said, job gains were primarily in healthcare, government, and construction, as I said before, as I told you guys. So this is according to the official report here from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, BLS. BLS.gov. So we're looking at the official numbers: healthcare, government, and construction. Now, construction, I guess, because some new housing permits were started in the last 6 months. Remember, the numbers are always about 6 months to 12 months behind what's actually going on the streets and the economy. So you can see here the states with the highest unemployment rates for the week ending March 16th. We had New Jersey, California, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Minnesota, Illinois, New York, etc. Largest increases in job claims jobless claims. I'm sorry, initial jobs claims. Texas, Missouri, Oregon, Illinois, and you notice that people are moving to states in the Sun Belt. People are moving from up north to Texas, Florida, Tennessee, Eastern Tennessee, the mountains, moving to places where more tax friendly and more land friendly, where you can own more property or whatever resources you choose to own, assets, as we get ready for this hyperinflation that's going to take place first, and then the deflation. So you can see that that's what's going on in much of the country. But this unemployment rate it's still hovering around 4%, and it's only going to go up as companies realize that the Federal Reserve Bank is not going to be cutting interest rates anytime soon, meaning anytime this year possibly, and that's going to cause things to continue to rise to an unsustainable levels. Not to mention that the credit market. So these are the three things that are holding up the U.S. dollar right now. The credit market, meaning the access to personal credit and commercial credit, continues to fare well for right now. The second thing is the housing market, but the housing market is dependent upon the job market. The less people who have good paying jobs, the more the housing market is going to be affected. Some people say, "Oh, the price is not going to go. It's not going to ever come down." That's not true, because the business cycle always has ebbs and flows. And any type, I know we're not living in the fundamental type of stock market thing, but according to the business cycle, either the price has to go down to these houses, or the interest rates have to go up to unsustainable levels, and that means that unless people are going to be buying these so-called single-family homes. Remember, we don't have enough starter homes as it is. Most people are selling their home for cash and buying another one cash and buying one smaller, downsizing. Most baby boomers and things of that nature. They're getting rid of the second homes, the RVs and all that, and they're downsizing, and paying cash from what they owned previously for 30 or 40 years or whatever it was. So this is what we're facing. We're facing international pressures too as well, guys. We are facing international pressures from China, Russia, India, Brazil, Africa. All these developing nations are making a lot of our goods and services, and even though they don't have an official currency together yet, the dollar is under pressure because the dollar is losing value. The more we print up, the more or less the dollars we have to spend. So this is something to think about, ladies and gentlemen. But continue to prepare, continue to get the basics. Just the basics, nothing crazy. Every week buy extra cans, goods if you can. Every week get extra food, extra water. Because like you said, one day you could wake up, it could be an earthquake. Next day it could be a flood. It could be power outage. It could be any number of things that we all can't prepare for. But just having something better than nothing gives us all peace of mind at the end of the day, regardless of what political side we're on, or what how much money we have, or what kind of car we drive. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, preparation meets opportunity, and that's what we have to do. Because one thing, we may one day wake up and the city may not be accessible to us, or the country, or whatever. We have to be prepared regardless of whether or not we have money or not, because that means physically, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally, because this is a marathon, not a sprint, obviously. And this is what this economy is showing us, that it can go on in either direction, for good or for bad, for a long time. We can have a recession for a long time, 5 to 10 year recession, or we can have a depression for a long time, like in the 1920s. But it's going to be different than the 1920s, because this is a global thing. You can run, but you can't hide. This is what this type of economy is giving everybody, and it's giving people of all classes fits, because once the economy goes down, then you have to deal with civil unrest, and once civil unrest happens, then that means that we start bringing in talk of some type of martial law, kind of like what they did during the COVID crisis. They almost had a medical martial law, technically, with the mask and everything. You remember that very well. So. And the restrictions on when you can go out, curfews and all that. So this is what it's heading towards, unfortunately. But the good news is we are here and we can prepare, and we got to get ready for the marathon, not just this little sprint. Because one day things will be looking good with the economy. You can have great job forecast or whatever. Next thing you know, people are panicking that they can't withdraw anything out the bank because the currencies crash, like in Turkey or Greece or Iceland or any of these banks that failed in these other countries. So get ready, stay ready. God bless. Have a great weekend. Enjoy some sunshine. Enjoy the solar eclipse if you can on Monday. I don't know if I'm going to be able to see it, because they're saying it's going to be a cloudy area for most people. So enjoy it anyway. God bless. I'll talk to you soon.